met when she was probably 3,
And you and he started having an affair while he was still married. Has he ever told you to stop and you not stop?
possibly.
Is that one of the reasons why we're here today?
You encouraged her to file for divorce?
I supported.
Do you think she's a divisive person in y'all's marriage?
He's not super involved.
He's been trying to create a divide.
And she wants to put herself up on a pedestal.
He's not necessarily a safe person.
And we had to start out by slinging mud.
Award physical possession of the marital residence to the children. Anybody who doesn't like that, find you another place to live.
Do you remember when divorce court was standard daytime TV right after Donohue?
First time sex today on Donohue. This is divorce court.
The biggest difference is that divorce court on TV was a dramatization. The hair was also a dramatization. This hearing is the real deal, replete with over 7 hours of testimony. I watched it all and cut out all the fluff to bring you, these mudslingers, in matrimony. Mrs. Dodd says Mr. Dodd is dirty and doesn't clean their house or their children when he has them. Mr. Dodd denies being controlling, but Mrs. Dodd says he cut her off following her surprise divorce petition. Mrs. Dodd's BFF says something about Mr. Dodd made her stop sending her kids to the Dodd house when he's there. Something is going on behind the scenes, and it may involve potential throuple action. Not sure yet. I am sure it has nothing to do with the mouse turd infestation they go on about. And then there are the lawyers. They're both relentless, they're both flinging mud at the opposition, and they're both excellent at making mountains out of molehills. They make this hearing even more fun to watch. This video has a ruling at the end, but it's temporary. That means there is more Dodd versus Dodd divorce court in our future. Let's roll, nerds.
Deanna and I have been best friends since our daughters were 2. And they are now 10.
During the marriage between the Dodds, have you had the opportunity to observe the two of them and their roles within the family unit?
Yes. Brian typically sits on the couch, either on his phone or watching whatever's on the TV.
Okay, when you say Brian, is Brian Dodd, is that the husband in this case?
Yes.
Okay. What is your observation of Miss Dodd's wifely duties in this marriage?
Specifically wife.
Yes.
That she makes sure that the bills are paid, not necessarily with her funds, but with the funds that come in. She arranges all of the children's schedules, their extracurriculars. She takes them to and from practice, keeps up with the household responsibilities. There was a situation at their home about 3 years ago. They had a terrible mice infestation. My children did go over there until some information I learned changed my husband and I's opinion of Mr. Dodd. And so we don't let our children go over there anymore when he's in the home. But about 3 years ago, we learned about mice infestation through our children who had been over there. I had been over there and observed things, mouse droppings and such in the kitchen cabinets, in the children's clothing. And so my husband and I spent an entire weekend cleaning out their basement. My husband took over 600 pounds of garbage to the dump from their basement because it was something that was clearly not being handled there at the home.
Okay. And was the debris and trash removal, was that an expectation that Mr. Dodd should be doing that? Did you ever, I can rephrase it.
I would sustain the objection.
Did you ever hear Mr. Dodd say, I'll carry that trash off later?
Have I heard him say that?
Yes.
Not to me, no.
Okay. Where was Mr. Dodd when you guys were cleaning the mouse infestation out?
In the living room.
Did he assist?
No.
So you, your husband, your children, Miss Dodd, everybody cleaned up this mouse infestation.
Sustain, don't leave the witness.
So tell the court.
Everyone participated. He was angry, visibly showed signs of anger. Are you going to throw all my shit away? Came down the hall huffing when we were doing things, was not helpful while we literally Friday, Saturday, and Sunday did this. Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard him make comments about getting along with his family members?
He has discussed in group settings his family history and relationships, yes.
Okay. And are those good relationships or bad relationships with his family?
The ones he was describing were not positive relationships.
Ms. Roberts?
Ms. Posey, last time you talked to your mom?
That's not relevant.
What's the last time you talked to your mother, Miss Halsey?
Hold on just a second. Question about when is the last time this witness spoke to her mother?
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Duke opened a situation and said that she had overheard my client say something that he doesn't have a positive relationship with his family, assuming that that is addressed somehow on his parenting skills. Miss Halsey's not spoken to her mother in excess of 2 years.
That is
And as a
false.
result of
Ma'am,
that,
just be quiet.
it goes to her credibility in making a decision about family relations. So my question is how long has it been since you talked to your mother? She offered an opinion, Your Honor, and I get the opportunity to explore that opinion.
I will allow a limited question, and that question only. I don't think,
I spoke to her. She was at my home with my children and Deanna.
So do you believe that relationships with your extended family reflect on your ability to be a parent?
No.
Oh. And you've been friends with Miss Dodd for a couple of years?
No, 8.
8 years, I think. Yeah, you said since your children were
2.
2. I knew there was a 2 in there somewhere. So since your daughters were 2
Mhm.
and they're now
10.
10 years old. Okay. Now, have you been the one, you encouraged her to file for divorce?
I did not encourage. I supported.
You supported because she made that decision that she didn't want to be married anymore.
Correct.
And then you used some unique words that she let him have the kids. What authority do you think that she had the right to let him have the kids over Father's Day weekend? Your specific words is she let him have them.
I don't know that I was paying attention that closely to the words, but the fact that she texted him and said, if you want to keep the kids, she was standing on my porch. If you want to keep the children for the weekend for Father's Day, that's fine. I'll pick them up on Monday. That was my observation of her text message on my porch the weekend that this happened.
Well,
So not authority given, just that's what happened.
And again, Miss Duke talked about him being controlling and things like that. What you've just described is her being controlling. Wouldn't you agree?
No.
I'm going to let you keep the kids.
I don't know that that was the exact wording. Like I said, I wasn't putting an emphasis on my words.
And
Just-
and you weren't putting emphasis on your words?
Correct.
Okay. So the fact that she came to him and said, I'm not happy, correct?
Yes.
You understand they don't have any interest in that home,
Yes.
that it's owned by his mother,
Yes.
and a controlling person just could say, fine, leave, couldn't they?
They could.
But instead, this man who you, the questions that were asked, gave her the space that she needed, that she asked for, let her stay in the home.
Is that a question?
Did that happen?
Yes.
And he altered his schedule and he's been coming every weekend to be with the kids.
Correct.
And then you picked the kids up as a friend when you said you've been friends for both of them. She asked you, correct?
No, she's only gotten off at 6/1 Friday, but she didn't ask me. I told her that I would be willing to do that.
Oh, you told her. So you're the controlling one in that situation.
Sure.
Judge objection, argumentative. That's silly.
sustained. I think the characterization such as that is unnecessary.
So again, in y'all's conversation, you're looking at it from a standpoint that you knew she was going to have to work late on Friday.
She's
When I say
Judge,
late,
that's-
after picking up the kids, she couldn't be there to pick the kids up,
correct.
which she had done when she worked at the daycare.
Correct.
You said, I'm available.
Correct.
And she said, great.
Correct.
You don't know what conversation went on with her and her husband,
No.
whether she told him, look, I've made arrangements for Miss Halsey to pick up the kids,
She did tell me that she had that conversation.
that she had said that.
Yes.
So again, he didn't have a fit and say, absolutely not. I'll make arrangements, put them in daycare, aftercare.
He did rebuttal her saying that, yes.
Well, you don't know that. You didn't hear that. That's what she.
I'm going to object. Ms. Roberts asked for that and she's allowed
No.
to testify to it.
One at a time.
She opened that door.
Not for hearsay, Your Honor.
The question that you asked, repeat your question.
It asked for hearsay.
If you
Excuse me,
can let her,
I'm sorry.
ask her to repeat the question.
I'm going through the scenario again. You know that she advised him that she had arranged with you to pick the children.
I read with my own eyeballs the text messages on her phone where he said, "What do you propose we do?" She responded, "Let's keep the kids in the home, throughout the custody arrangement, if you will." And I'm paraphrasing, but he did ask, "What do you propose?" She said, "Let's keep the kids at home." So, she would have them Monday through Friday. She told him, I read with my own eyes, that she told him that I would be doing that. And he rebutted and said that he had other people that could be available to pick up the children.
When you went through the stuff in the basement, whose items or property were those?
The items that were stored, there was a lot of garbage.
Does Miss Dodd return some of these favors to you?
Absolutely. My husband had cancer 5 years ago, and
Anyway,
I was pregnant with my fourth child. I'm sorry. And she was very helpful. She picked up my kids.
Again, I'm going to object. If I understand what the court said,
Mhm.
this is something that happened 5 years ago, and the child was pregnant.
question was, does Miss Dodd return the favor of doing favors for her? And she was testifying that yes, she had. But what's your objection?
Well, the timeliness, I mean, I understand she was doing it, and she prefaced it saying when I was pregnant with my child, as I understood her testimony. I may have understood it wrong, but her fourth child is now 5 years old. So this event that we're talking about
Yes, but she's
is 5 years ago, is 6 years ago. Child's 4 and she was pregnant, so child's 5 and she was pregnant.
And what she testified to about them helping clean out the basement, she said was 3 years ago. All of these things.
Until I asked, I did not realize that was until I asked her that it was 3 years.
Overruled.
so Miss Dodd, y'all are best friends.
Mhm.
Is that fair?
I've never had a sister. She lost her sister, so we consider each other sisters.
And so it's not a one-way. You help with groceries, she helps with transport here and there,
Correct. I never asked to be repaid.
and vice versa. Has she ever asked you to be repaid for what she did when your husband was undergoing cancer treatment?
No.
To your knowledge, has Mr. Dodd been watching you and Miss Dodd on the household cameras?
That he recently installed, yes.
Okay. And when Mr. Dodd does something that maybe he's not supposed to, has he been erasing those cameras?
Again, I'm going to object.
Sustained.
Have you rewatched the videos on the cameras?
Yes.
Okay. And are there chunks of time that are missing from those videos?
Yes.
And are they chunks of time when he's left the children at home to fend for themselves?
Lack of personal knowledge of what he's done, unless she's there.
I don't mind to move on. I think the court can recognize what's already been asked.
Sustain the objection.
Those objections have been sustained, so the court will not consider, correct?
Correct.
I'm very okay.
Judge, if she can refrain from making commentary, please.
Mr. Roberts, refrain from making comments that are outside the scope of your objection.
I just want to make sure that the record. I want to make sure you sustain the objection.
I sustain the objection, which means that an objection that is sustained, the court cannot consider the evidence that was elicited. That's what sustaining means.
Do you go to the home regularly? It's been
Yes.
asked 10 times.
Yes.
And prior to the separation, was there a doorbell camera at the home?
No.
Okay. Now that they're separated, is there a doorbell camera at the home?
Within the last 2 weeks, yes.
Okay. And to your knowledge, did Ms. Dodd install that?
No.
Okay.
You've got a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 12-year-old being left home alone. Correct.
Correct.
For a period of time.
Correct.
And he installed it
That was not the reason he gave, per what I saw with my eyes on her phone when she asked him why he did that.
So she shows you all these text messages. Okay.
Redirect. Thank you, ma'am. You may step down. You can have a seat in the courtroom or you may leave. All right, I have spoken with the party's minor son in chambers this morning at the request of Mr. Dodd. And let me address one thing on the front end. I had a conversation with the lawyers during that time because there was an objection made to even allowing your son to be able to testify because you had discussed with him this morning some of the aspects of testimony that was given yesterday. If you recall, I placed everyone that was going to be a witness yesterday under the rule. The rule is a rule of evidence that says that no one who is going to be a witness in a case can discuss the testimony of other witnesses. Your son was not a witness yesterday. That's the only reason I'm considering what he had to say, because technically you could argue that you violated the rule by discussing with him what he said you talked with him about with what Ms. Hulsey, I think it was her name, testified yesterday. And under those circumstances, your wife's lawyer made a strong argument that I ought to exclude all of his testimony because you had violated the rule. I didn't, because I think it was important for your son to be able to be heard. And he was not technically a witness there. But according to his testimony, you went to the school and you picked him up without him knowing what was going to happen. And on the way to the courthouse here today, you discussed with him what was testified to yesterday. If you do that again, I'm going to put you in jail. You understand that? It will be 10 days in court for contempt. One of the remedies is I exclude the person's testimony from it. But as I said, I didn't do that with your son because not his fault. He's a minor and he didn't know any better. And I hold you responsible for that. And if you do it again and it's proven to me, I will put you in jail. Do you understand that? I want to hear from everybody on this case and I want to come up with a solution to your problems. But, you know, this involving children in in the middle of this scenario is unacceptable to me. It's bad enough that I have to hear from your son back in chambers, take him out of school, bring him here, and have him testify. That's bad enough. But it is a necessary evil because our legislature has put in our rules 12 years of age or older with greater weight to be given to the preferences of an older child. So that is a factor I have to consider. So I have to consider what your son said. But I am warning you that if this happens again, or any influence that's shown to me, or discussions with your children, leave them out of this scenario. Don't talk badly about their mother to them, and you don't talk badly about him to those children. But I'm telling you both right now, I want the children left out of this scenario. I don't want them influenced. I've heard what the only child's preference is that's old enough to express a preference, and I'm not going to hear anything from the other children. But if I hear that either one of you has tried to influence the children or making negative comments about the other to the other, then I will deal with that. And that may be that a severe restriction on your access to the child or children, or it may be a contempt of court citation. But this is not acceptable to me, and I don't want to have it happen again. Everybody understand that? All right, Ms. Duke, you are putting on your proofs, and you may call your next witness.
Yes, Your Honor. I call Ms. Deanna Dodd. If you would, please state your full name and record.
Deanna Lee Dodd,
And Ms. Dodd, how old are you?
33.
And what are you currently earning?
I earn $15 an hour,
How many hours are you working per week?
40 hours.
You and Mr. Dodd were married when?
November 27th of 2012.
You have 3 children of the marriage, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, tell the court about your children.
We have a 12-year-old son named JB. We have a 10-year-old daughter, Ella, and we have a son, Graham, who for the majority of our marriage, I have been a homemaker, staying at home, taking care of my kids. until 2 years ago when I got employment through Dixon First Methodist Pre-K, where my son was attending.
What day did you and your husband agree for him to move out of the residence?
I expressed my desire to step away and separate Father's Day weekend. I have been staying in our home with my children Monday through Friday, and he has been coming to our home on the weekends to stay with them.
Who carried the majority of the burden, or, I wouldn't say burden, but the blessings of taking care of getting schedules and things like that for the children?
I did.
Okay. Who prepares meals in your home?
Mostly me.
Do you have a word to describe his parenting in your household? I mean, is it super parent or not really interactive? What is your description?
I would say not super, he's not super involved.
Do you have concerns about the children when they're with Mr. Dodd at times?
Yes.
Okay. Tell the court about those concerns.
There have been times that my youngest son has made statements that he would rather go with me or he doesn't.
Would appear to be hearsay, Ms. Duke. You have some other basis?
I don't. Do you have difficulty getting some of the children to go with the dad?
Yes.
Do you have other concerns where hygiene and eating square meals are concerned?
Yes.
Okay. Tell the court about the hygiene issues with your children, how you observed them after the weekend.
We're still going to the same church on Sunday mornings, and there have been times that, I can visibly look at my children and tell that they have not had a shower, specifically my 10-year-old daughter. Her hair tends to get very greasy and oily quickly. My son, my youngest son, just loving on him or, whatever, he doesn't smell as though he has been bathed.
Prior to your separation, who was responsible for bath and bedtime?
Me.
Okay. In the course of your marriage, has Mr. Dodd ever been primarily responsible for those two things?
Primarily, no.
And has he assisted sometimes?
Yes.
During the course of the marriage, who has been responsible for making sure that groceries and food and meals were on the table?
Me.
If you needed something special, did he rely on you to make sure that all those things were done for the family?
Essentially, yes.
Clothes for the children, who's been responsible for those?
Myself.
Now, yesterday we spoke about the dirty basement and the need for Miss Halsey and her family to help out with that. During that clean out, what was the majority of the stuff that was in the basement?
The majority of the things that were in our basement were his belongings that he had moved in from his previous marriage.
Had he made certain promises to take care of cleaning all of that up
Yes.
over the last 12 years?
Yes.
Had he ever taken any action to do that?
No.
We know he's brought in the paycheck. Is that a fair statement?
That's correct.
Okay. During the marriage, who has taken care of making sure the bills were paid and paid on time?
Primarily me.
Okay. And after he was served with this divorce, what did he tell you?
That he was taking the bills over.
Okay. And the very first week he took the bills over, did you have a car note late?
I did.
Okay. Have you made every car payment on time until this one?
That's correct.
Has he had difficulty managing finances throughout your marriage?
Yes.
Okay. Is that why you took over the bills?
That's correct.
After he was served with the complaint for divorce, did he cut you off?
He did. As of this last pay period, he put $0 in our joint checking account.
Since the separation, has he installed anything at the house?
Yes.
Okay. And what is that?
He installed a floodlight ring camera above our basement door.
Did you have to demand the login and the password for that?
I did.
Okay. Did he finally give it to you?
He did.
Did it take him a minute to give it to you?
Yes, it did.
Have you, what have you caught him doing with that camera?
Monday morning when he left early, there is no footage of him leaving the house.
Okay.
The only footage that is there is when she showed up to pick my children up for school.
Okay. And is that how you knew she picked up your children for school?
That's correct.
Can you in your mind fathom why he's hiding stuff like that?
No.
Again, I'm going to object to any facts not in evidence. I don't know what.
I can rephrase.
Sustain the objection.
On any other video, have you found that sections have been deleted?
No.
Okay. I think she can say that.
Well, what evidence does she have that there's anything deleted, I guess would be the question.
Did you ask him about the video footage that is missing?
I did not.
On an occasion, have you caught him watching you?
Yes.
Tell the court about that.
I was taking my son to baseball practice just a couple of nights ago, and I was sitting in my car as he was loading his baseball gear, and I heard something. So I peeked out of my car to see what it was and realized that there was a blue light on the floodlight ring camera, and I could hear rustling and like breathing noises. So I got out of my car and looked up at the camera, and he responded with, "Hi." And I said, "Not watching, huh?" And then he spoke to my son and we left for practice.
This camera wasn't put up until the divorce was filed. Is that accurate?
That is correct.
During the marriage, would you have considered him to be somewhat financially abusive with you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you heard Ms. Roberts yesterday kind of intimate that you were the one that set this schedule up and this was how it was going to work and that you were being controlling over the situation. Can you explain to the court how the agreement came to be?
When I left Father's Day weekend, I wanted him to be able to spend that time with the kids. So I suggested that I would bring the kids home that Saturday so that he could have them and spend Father's Day with him. After that, I messaged him and said that I thought that it was in the best interest of our kids for them to spend the week with me and for him to spend weekends with them.
And did he agree with that?
He did.
Okay. And as a matter of fact, before that, had he offered to move out of the home into a camper?
Correct.
This wasn't a seed you planted necessarily. It was a group decision.
Correct.
Until he figured out that you were going to file for divorce, did he say anything about having 50-50 with the children?
He did not.
Has he said ugly things about your best friend in front of the kiddos?
Yes.
Would it be concerning to you that during JB's testimony, JB said, no, Dad really hadn't said anything bad about?
It would be.
Tell the court some of the things that he said bad about Miss Halsey.
He has not cared for her for quite some time now. And that's been evident and it shows in many ways.
Do the both of you rely on Miss Halsey to assist in transportation in the afternoons?
We do.
Okay. And to your knowledge, has he ever thanked her for her assistance?
No.
Have you thanked her?
Multiple times.
Are you two best friends?
We are.
Okay. And has Mr. Dodd made reference to the fact that he thinks that you're more than friends?
To me, no.
Okay. Has he made it seem as if he's jealous of your relationship with Miss Halsey?
Yes.
Okay. Is Miss Halsey happily married?
She is.
Okay. Children of her own?
Correct.
Are they best friends with your children?
They are.
Does he blame Miss Halsey for this divorce?
He does.
Okay. And has he said that out loud to you?
Yes.
Where the children can hear it?
Yes.
Okay. So during the marriage, he's alleged that you should be submissive.
Yes.
And has that happened on more than one occasion?
Yes.
Okay. Has he forced himself on you intimately?
Yes.
Okay. Tell the court about that.
There have been a couple of occasions that has happened, and I have verbally said, ouch or stop, and he has not.
And does he finish until he comes and until he orgasms at
Correct.
that point? Is that tough to talk about?
Yes.
Is that one of the reasons why we're here today?
Yes.
In July of this year, did he beg you back to have sex with him? Did he try to be intimate with you again in July or in September?
Yes.
Tell me when that was. I don't know. I think I'm speaking out of turn.
There was an occasion at the baseball fields when we were separated that he tried to come on to me and I backed away and turned away.
How old were you when you got married?
I was 19.
And how old was he?
He would have been 44.
Did he express to you the desire that you stay home and have children?
Yes.
For the period of your marriage, have you resided in the same home?
Yes.
Okay, who owns that home?
My mother-in-law.
Okay. And have you and your children and your husband resided in that home for the last how many years?
13 years.
Are you asking the court to allow you exclusive possession of that home until we're able to get this matter resolved?
Yes.
Are you asking that Mr. Dodd be required to make up the short end of the expenses in order to make ends meet at the end of every month?
Yes.
Okay. Are you asking for that in the way of spousal support?
Yes.
You're not asking for anything above and beyond trying to get these bills paid every month.
That's correct.
Are you asking the court to award him every other weekend?
That's correct.
Okay. And do you have any problem with the court saying he can take the kids to school on Monday if he wants to?
No.
As long as they're bathed and taken care of.
Correct.
Do you know how much Mr. Dodd is making per hour at his job?
Per hour, not sure.
Okay. Do you know what he made last year total?
It was roughly $90,000.
$90,000?
That's correct.
Okay. And what are you set to earn this coming year? Do you know?
Just under 30,000.
Where has he been residing when he's not in the marital residence?
His mother's home.
Okay. And is that home suitable for him and even maybe the children to come visit?
Yes.
Who owns the home that you guys are living in?
My mother-in-law.
She has allowed you to live there to keep from having to pay rent or mortgage somewhere else. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. After Mr. Dodd gave you a difficult time about going out to dinner and spending any money on dinner for yourself, did he rent a hotel room after that?
As recently as this past weekend, yes.
And was it a distance that he did not have to rent?
That's correct.
That he gave you a hard time over a meal?
That's correct.
Judge, I think that's all.
You wanted to make another correction in the fact that you were married at age 20, not 19, correct?
That's correct. I did the math wrong.
Okay. You were actually married in November and you had just turned 20 in September, 2 months earlier.
That is correct.
Okay. Now, and as I understand it, you back in June, you decided you were unhappy in your marriage to the point of where you wanted a separation.
Correct.
And you talked to your husband about that.
Yes.
And he said, okay. After he professed he didn't want one, he loved you, wanted to stay married, correct?
Yeah, he said a lot of things.
Okay. And you said, no, I want a separation.
That is correct.
And you're the one that brought up about first getting a trailer for him to live in, right?
No, ma'am.
So he was going, have y'all have a trailer?
No, ma'am.
You had just said that he had brought something up about maybe getting a trailer.
He did. He made the statement that he would like to either refinish the room that is in our basement or park a camper at our home to live in.
Okay. So that he could be there.
Correct.
And you said, absolutely not. I don't want you here.
That's correct.
And so in an effort to appease you, you suggested this 4 days with you, 3 days with him, right?
because I thought that was best for our children. Yes.
Okay, and that's what y'all done, and you keep saying the 9th of June, but the Father's Day was the 15th of June.
Okay. It was Father's Day weekend.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because y'all were saying Father's Day weekend and the 9th of June, and I just wanted to clarify. In looking at my calendar,
Sure.
Father's Day was Sunday, the 15th.
Okay. It was Father's Day weekend.
Okay, so Father's Day weekend is when you approached him
Yes,
and said, I'm done,
that is correct.
or was it, I just want to separate for a while?
I told him that we needed to separate and I needed some space.
You needed some space, and so he was willing to give you that space.
Begrudgingly, but yes.
Begrudgingly,
Yeah.
he offered an alternative that you rebuked,
I was not willing to stay.
and then why didn't you leave?
Why did I leave?
Yeah, why didn't you just say, fine, I'm going?
I did
Oh, you did leave the home?
just for the night. Yes. When I told him that I needed space.
Okay. But you weren't just saying I needed space for the night. You were saying I needed space, but you wanted to stay in the home that is his mother's.
It's our marital home with our children. Yes,
Well, you have no rental agreement.
that's correct.
You pay no rent.
That's correct.
You don't pay the taxes and the insurance. Do you?
We do pay the taxes. Yes.
Do you pay the homeowner's insurance?
If we have homeowners insurance,
Well, you have said that I was the one that paid all of the bills.
that's correct.
And
To
when
my knowledge,
when I did it, everything was on time and everything was,
to my knowledge, we do not have homeowners insurance.
and that's what I was asking. Not a trick question. Do you have homeowner's insurance? And no,
What?
That's exactly,
Legal basis for your objection is asked and answered.
yes.
Overruled.
Again, ma'am, you said that you were the steward of your finances. You were the one that organized it, paid everything. And my question about the home that's owned by your mother-in-law is you pay no insurance, you pay no rent. You know you pay the taxes?
Yes, we have paid the taxes.
Have or do? I mean, just on one occasion?
No, multiple occasions we have taken care of the property taxes.
Okay. Do you do that every year?
Yes,
Okay. And then you don't know whether you have homeowners insurance or whether your mother-in-law has homeowners and whether y'all pay it or not.
I do not. The last time that we spoke about insurance through Farm Bureau, it was talked about that we were going to get a renter's insurance. I, however, do not know if he ever followed through with that.
Well, you would know if you were writing the check,
It comes out direct deposit directly to Farm Bureau, ma'am.
but do you not balance your checkbook
I use our online banking app.
and know whether it's coming out or not?
That's correct.
So does it come out?
Yes, it comes out.
So you have renter's insurance.
If he got that added to our insurance package, yes.
And ma'am, with all due respect, I don't know is an appropriate answer if you don't know. Please don't guess.
Okay, then I don't know if he added homeowners.
Now, and in your parenting plan that you've submitted with this court, you want to take time away from your husband,
That's correct.
even though you believed it was in the children's best interest. Correct?
Yes,
To do a 4-3 schedule.
that's correct.
And now you've changed your mind.
I think that's in my children's best interest,
Why?
yes. Because he has not cared for my children properly.
How?
Their hygiene, the way that they eat, it's not healthy for them to eat out for every meal every day.
Well, how do you know that they eat out for every meal of every day?
I can see it coming out of our joint banking account, online banking.
And again, you talked about him saying something to you about going and eating out at Condessa.
Yes, ma'am.
And he asked you about why you charge $62 for one single meal.
That's correct.
What did you eat for $62?
He asked me that, and I was very open and honest with him and told him that we had gone to have drinks at Condessa that night.
Who is we?
Me, my best friend, and her husband.
And did you pay for them?
I did.
knowing that you're on a limited budget,
Mhm.
knowing that you don't have, that you don't have money to pay certain things, you treated somebody to dinner and drinks,
Yes,
and he asked you about it,
correct.
said, we don't have the money to do that.
No, ma'am. He
So
did
what
not.
did he do? He just asked and said, what was this for?
He did. He asked what I ate at Condessa for $62. I told him that we had drinks at Condessa and then offered to reimburse him the money back.
Okay. So where was the ugliness in that?
Nobody said or accused him of being ugly.
Oh, yes, ma'am. You remember your testimony that Miss Duke asked you he was ugly to you and about eating out?
As I recall, she just asked if he asked if I had eaten out.
Well, the record will speak for itself. So he was just asking why 62.
Judge, I'd ask that Miss Roberts not make sidebar comments like that. The record will just speak for itself. That's not appropriate.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't. Why?
I don't find that to be an inappropriate statement. There are times when sidebar comments are clearly inappropriate, but that one in particular, I do not find to be offensive. Oh,
So he just asked you why you spent $62.
Yes, ma'am.
Did they reimburse you?
He said that he did not. Are you asking if they reimbursed me? No, ma'am.
Because that's what you said. You told him, oh, they'll reimburse us.
No, ma'am. I said I offered to reimburse him
From what?
my own personal paycheck money
Why is that your own personal paycheck?
because it goes into my personal account.
Why is it not going into the family account to pay?
Because
family
the bank does not allow me to do that. The bank made me open an account through their bank for my check to go into.
Bank of Dixon pays by direct deposit.
That's correct.
And so you have to have a checking account through Bank of Dixon to get
That
your
is
direct
correct.
deposit.
Yes,
But did you realize that you can transfer your money into your joint account so that your bills can be paid?
yes,
But you elected not to do that
I did.
because that's your money.
Well,
Correct?
I mean, I've been taking care of myself and my children with that money.
Not, so it's okay for us to classify his money and your money, and it's not our money.
Objection argumentative.
sustained.
Why do you get to keep yours and he has to put his in the account?
Well, respectfully, ma'am, he makes 3 times more money than I do.
But you knew he had gone through a divorce
Yes,
and you were quasi involved in that. You and he had started a relationship before he ended his other relationship, didn't you?
well, I actually moved into the home with he and his ex-wife when I turned 18 years old because of a poor family situation. And to my knowledge, they both agreed to allow that.
Mhm.
And from there, I felt pursued, yes.
Okay. And you and he started having an affair while he was still married, correct?
Yes.
And his wife found out.
No,
She didn't?
no.
And that wasn't brought up in the marriage?
It has been said multiple times that I was not the reason that they divorced.
But did she find out about y'all's affair?
I can't give testimony to that. I don't know.
You don't, okay, that's fine. You don't
don't
know.
know. To my knowledge, no.
Okay. And so he gets divorced. And then y'all continue your relationship and y'all get married, correct?
He moved to McKenzie where I was in college at Bethel University, and we pursued a relationship from there.
And he asked you to marry him?
He didn't ask me, no, but there were conversations about it.
Y'all just decided to get married?
Correct.
Okay. And y'all got married and that was some 13 years ago,
Almost.
almost 13 years ago. And y'all discussed having a family
Correct.
and wanted to immediately start a family.
Correct.
And shortly after y'all's marriage, you became pregnant because your son is now 12.
Correct.
And at that point in time, you had dropped out of college.
Yes.
He was the primary breadwinner. He's how many years older than you?
23.
23 years older. So he had already established a work career, correct?
Yes.
And he continued to work, and y'all elected at that point in time for you to be a stay-at-home mom.
Correct.
And y'all brought your son into the world and then waited a little bit and then we're blessed with your daughter
Yes.
and then your youngest son, correct? And during all of that period of time, you stayed home and he earned the wage.
Yes.
So y'all have had some financial difficulty throughout the 13 years.
Yes.
But y'all done the best you can.
Yes.
Okay. By the grace of his mother, she bought a home for y'all.
Yes.
Correct? Y'all tried to finance to purchase a home, and both yours and his credit were not sufficient to where y'all could purchase. Is that right?
Correct.
And so she purchased the home, and then when his father passed, she took money and paid off the mortgage so that the house is free and clear.
I can't testify to that.
At any rate, it was all her money
Yes.
that went in to purchase that home that y'all are living in.
Correct.
And but you want to stay in the home even though it's her home.
Yes.
Have you made arrangements to find a place?
I'm currently looking. Yes.
Okay, and where are you looking?
Local to Dixon, Burns.
Are you just looking for someplace to rent, or?
I haven't decided fully. I've been looking at rental properties and other options.
And again, have you given the fact that you making $2,600 a month, have you signed up to see whether or not you would be eligible for Section 8 housing?
I did look into that, but when I pursued that, they were not taking applications.
Okay. But when you leave the house on Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night, you're staying with your friend, Miss Hulse,
That's correct.
and you have the availability to do that?
Yes.
Has she told you got to leave?
No.
And again, have you questioned whether or not you can stay there for a full week and then come back to the house for a week?
I have.
And what's that response?
From,
She's willing to let you do that, correct?
yes.
Okay. So you're 33 now,
Yes.
just turned 33, and you're working at the Bank of Dixon. Do you have benefits at the Bank of Dixon?
Currently not eligible until October.
And again, because it's a 90-day waiting period before you can get that. And right now, because of your financial situation with you and your husband, y'all have been eligible to acquire TennCare insurance. Is that correct?
Correct.
And so all of your children are covered under governmental provided. And are you and your husband also covered under that?
I think so. I think it's through like the state. We do
Well,
pay.
let me interrupt. In my understanding that he makes $90,000 a year and they're on TennCare.
It's eligibility because of the number of children, Your Honor. And again, 90,000, he makes $35 an hour. So it actually works out to about $78,000 a year, Judge. There is availability when he testifies about overtime and things such as that, but effectively his wage is $35 and some change an hour. So again, who went through the process to acquire the health insurance?
He did the application.
Did he have insurance at a previous employer?
The kids have been on TennCare for several years.
Y'all been on TennCare for several years, correct?
Yes.
And he's the one that was responsible. He took care of getting all that.
He did.
So when Ms. Duke talked about who does the lion's share of the parenting, you do kind of the things that I usually call the day-to-day drudgery of being a parent. Not that you don't love doing it, but you do the laundry and the fixing the meals and being the taxi and all of that stuff. Is that correct?
Yes.
But he also does parenting, such as making sure that your children have health insurance. Correct?
He filled out the health insurance application.
Yes. You seem to minimize that.
I've had to remind him on several occasions to please take care of that.
But you've been on TennCare for several years. So this was several years ago you had to explain to him to do that?
No, this is on the daily,
You don't have to daily attend to 10 care. You have an annual renewal.
Yes, I have to stay on him about applying so that our children can have insurance.
And you don't know if you have insurance.
I know I have insurance.
I asked you earlier, you and your husband covered under 10 care, and you hesitated.
Yes,
Are y'all, is it a family or is it just for the children?
we have, to my understanding, we have health insurance through 10 care, but we still have to pay in for that insurance.
Okay, so you think it might be under cover kids?
Yes,
So it's income based
yes.
and it's cover kids, not 10.
It is cover kids,
It's
yes.
cover kids. You haven't contributed anything to any of the household expenses that you've listed on your income and expense statement.
I have. There have been times that I have made bill payments out of, my paycheck.
Does he have access to that?
No.
Do you tell him that you're making those payments?
Yes.
What's your personal loan for $162.07?
To pay my lawyer.
And who's the loan from?
Bank of Dixon.
And what's the balance of that loan?
I can't give you an exact number.
How much did you borrow?
5,000.
And your automobile is $975.
Correct.
So you're driving the newest
Yes,
vehicle. And that's a Traverse?
it is.
And then,
Monthly payment on a Traverse is $975.
Yes, sir.
and then I want to make sure that I'm understanding these figures correct also. These are monthly expenses. You're spending $50 on food a month, and you're spending $150 on your children a month for food.
Roughly, yes.
But you spent $62 for one meal. How are you just spending $50 when you're door dashing lunch?
I thought that was just food for the home. I did not realize that needed to include out of home cost.
Now, your son plays baseball,
Correct.
and does he play travel ball or just rec ball?
He just started playing travel ball.
And what team is he on?
The Dixon Pickles.
Oh, the Dixon Pickles. That's a new team that's just organized. Isn't
It
that
is.
right?
Yes.
And you talked about, Ms. Duke talked to you about the fact that he questioned you about spending $62 at Condesa, and he stayed in a hotel.
He did.
And and you testified that he didn't have to do that.
Correct.
I think the words were he was close enough where he didn't have to do that, right?
Mhm.
In fact, the truth of the matter is that your son was playing in a travel baseball tournament in Jackson, Tennessee.
Correct.
Isn't that right?
Yes.
And he had an early ball game. Was it an 8:00 game?
It was not. No, ma'am.
What time was the first game?
They played at 12:30.
12:30. But he took all of the kids and they went to Jackson along with the other family members with the ball team, and they stayed in a hotel.
To my knowledge, most of the team came back home. Not all.
After the game. He stayed in the day before the game.
He played a 2-day tournament. He had to be there Saturday to play.
What time?
I honestly don't remember. We were there all day. I don't remember what time the first game was. We played multiple games.
Right. In a baseball tournament, you play pool play
Correct.
all day Saturday.
Yes.
And then depending on your where you play and how you stack out, then tournament play starts on Sunday.
That's correct.
And you don't know what time you're going to play on Sunday until you play your pool games on Saturday, right?
That is correct.
And so you don't know whether or not, and it's in Jackson.
Mhm.
And he elected to spend the weekend, he didn't just stay in the hotel. Him, your two sons and your daughter all stayed in a hotel with him. They all stayed there and had a weekend.
All 4 children. Yes.
And then his 17-year-old
Correct.
all went and had a weekend to watch your son play ball.
Yes.
And then you drove down.
I came down Saturday. Yes.
And did you did you come back on Sunday?
I did not.
Okay. So he was there with the kids and everything went great. Did they do any good?
They got a ring.
That's great. Did they got a championship ring?
They were the runner-ups, but
Runner up. So they made it to the championship round.
they did.
What position does JB play?
He's played multiple positions, but currently he's been playing second base.
Second base, good position. Pretty good.
He is.
Enjoy it.
He does.
Has he played school ball?
No,
Is he gonna try out for school ball?
he would like to.
Okay. Now, where did the money come from for that tournament? Out of our money or your money?
I paid his fees for his uniforms.
You paid for the uniform fees out of your money that you earned.
I did.
Okay. So was that the hotel that you said he didn't have to go to? That you think he spent the money unwisely?
I just know that he stayed in a hotel this last weekend for the tournament when we were an hour and a half away from home.
An hour and a half away from home with 4 kids. And you had talked about the fact that you have left the house in significantly disarray on Fridays when you've left. Not dirty, but it's been, I mean, kids have, there's been
Kids are
clothes,
kids.
there's to do, there's been dishes, right?
I don't think that I've ever left dishes for him to do.
You know, you talked about and got all teary-eyed and upset over the fact that talking about your husband talking to JB about asking him what schedule he wanted.
Yes.
Then why would you have picked up the phone last night? And I don't know if you did it on your way home or when you got there. Why would you have picked up the phone and called his daughter?
Because I had gotten word that he had had a conversation with her.
She wants to be with her daddy during his week.
Where she said that she did not want to spend time with me. In the conversation that I had with her yesterday, that information is not accurate.
She's a child, albeit she's a teenager, almost an adult. Why would you have picked up the phone and called her when you were so visibly upset over the fact that he was asking your son, hey, what do you want to do? What schedule would you like? Then you turned around and did the exact same thing to a child that's not yours.
Objection. That is not the testimony, Judge. Objection. That's a misstatement. It is absolutely a misstatement.
Sustained, rephrase your question. It's not exactly the same thing.
What conversation did you have with his daughter?
I just asked her if she and her dad had had a conversation regarding our relationship, and she said that they did. And she told me that she just felt like things were really awkward, understandably, and that she just didn't want to be in the middle of it, understandably.
You said the basement was full of stuff that he had from his prior marriage.
Correct.
And did you ever go through it and get rid of it?
No, ma'am. He, when it comes to his things, he has a really hard time letting go of things.
Okay. The Ring doorbell camera, not doorbell, I'm sorry, the Ring floodlight is placed over the garage.
It's placed over the basement entry door.
Okay. And your husband's not there with you. So you've got, and again, no disrespect, a woman and sometimes 3 minor children and then a 17-year-old sometimes.
Correct.
And the camera is outside,
Yes.
facing the driveway.
That's correct.
That's correct. Okay. And you think that that's somehow a breach of your privacy?
Yes, ma'am.
Why don't you move?
Then why don't I move?
Yeah,
Because that's still currently, I'm not unsafe in the home. I never said that I was unsafe in the home.
a camera is looking out at the driveway of people coming up that would come up and approach the home. And how is that a breach of your privacy? Are you having somebody come up that you don't want him to see?
Absolutely not.
Okay. That's not been indicated over there. But he sees his daughter leaving. He's left. He's not there with his 17-year-old daughter who drives. He can see when she leaves the house going to school, when she comes home, because she is his responsibility, correct?
Legally, yes.
Okay. His other children, y'all's children, are living there. Why didn't you put a camera up?
I didn't feel the need to put a camera up.
When you saw it, did you ask for the access?
I did.
And it was given?
begrudgingly, but yes,
How do you say begrudgingly?
he did not want to give me full login access until I was adamant that I deserved that.
Okay. When did you tell him you were filing for divorce?
I did not tell him that I was filing for divorce.
You just, instead of saying I'm done, having a conversation, you just waited and have the sheriff's department serve him with paper.
I did.
Is your son truthful?
Yes, for the most part. He's 12, so
Seemed like a very articulate, well-versed young man.
he is.
Very respectful. Is yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no.
He ought to.
And again, that's why y'all raised him.
Correct.
That's all. Thank you, ma'am.
Redirect.
He's been fired from 2 jobs for being lazy and not doing his job. Is that fair?
Unless you found, number one, leading, number two, lack of foundation.
Sustained.
Why did he tell you he was fired?
I'm sorry. He was never really clear about the first time. It was I don't really understand why this is happening. Actually, both times.
Okay. And did you gather from him that maybe some of the same issues going on in your home?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know?
Sustained. The question about do you gather from something is a supposition on her part. Sustain the objection.
Do you know who paid for his attorney?
I do not.
This Ring floodlight camera, that you've been in the house since this arrangement has been going on since June the 15th.
Correct.
And he waited to place that camera until August around the 20th.
Right around that time, yes.
Have there been occasions where he's overdrafted your bank account and said to you something to the effect of, I've got to have money in my pocket?
Yes.
When you married him, did you know that he had $17,000 in credit card debt?
I did not.
Okay. When did you find that out?
When they garnished his wages.
Okay. And they emptied out your bank account.
They did.
Okay. And is that one reason he encouraged you to get a separate? I'll stop.
Sustained.
Why did you get your TriStar account?
To try to help alleviate financial burden.
Okay. And who requested you to do that?
To correct you, it wasn't the TriStar account. It was our first bank account. And he encouraged me to do that so that they potentially could not garnish his wages.
Has that been paid back?
He's still paying.
Okay. And what else is he still paying on?
So he took a personal loan from the bank to pay off the credit card debt. He is paying directly to First Bank, in addition to a camper that he owned prior to our marriage that was not paid for.
And is that still not paid for 13 years later?
I don't think so.
Was it your testimony that all the other Ball parents came on home that night? They didn't spend the night in.
To my knowledge, several of them came back home.
Eating dinner for 3 people, is $62 unreasonable in your mind?
No.
And was that payback for Heather's assistance with you with the kids getting to and from school?
Essentially, she's also opened her home to me for months now.
Do your kids have those tracker tiles in their backpacks?
They do.
And they have location services on them at all times. Is that correct?
While they're at school, yes.
And has that always been your fallback for security purposes?
Not always.
I think that's all for right now.
Any other cross? Thank you, ma'am. You will step down. We're going to take our afternoon recess.
Brian Webster Dodd?
Mr. Dodd, you are 56 years of age, is that correct?
Yes.
Your wife is 33, so there's a significant difference in y'all's ages, is that right?
Yes. We met when, I don't know, she was probably 3 or 4.
So the better
So
part of her life.
her life, yes.
Her life. And so y'all known each other for a long time?
Yes.
Okay. At some point in time, did she actually move in with you and your wife?
After her 18th birthday.
After her 18th birthday. And how many years did she live with y'all?
Till she started college, probably one, maybe.
Okay. And then you and your wife adopted a child,
We did.
and that is Miss Abby. Is that right? I think is her name Abigail.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, she goes by Abby.
She does.
Is she a senior this year?
Senior.
And she's 17.
She is.
And what type of residential schedule do you have with Miss Abby?
We're on a week-to-week schedule.
Is it from Sunday to Sunday, Friday to
It
Friday?
is Sunday to Sunday.
Sunday to Sunday. So she comes to your house on Sunday and leaves on Sunday.
Correct.
And you had, during the course of y'all's time together, you and purchased a vehicle,
Yes.
and that's what she uses to drive. Is
Yes,
that correct?
it is.
You and Miss Dodd started having a romantic or sexual relationship before your divorce from your first wife. Is that
Yes.
correct? And you divorced, and then y'all pursued a relationship and ultimately married when she turned, I think, when she was 20. Is that correct?
Correct.
And have y'all lived together since that period of time?
Yes.
Have there been any separations during the course of your marriage?
No.
When y'all married, did you already have a career? Were you working somewhere?
I was self-employed at that point.
Doing what?
Burglar alarm, fire alarm, CCTV.
Okay.
I was in the security business.
And that's what you're doing now. You're servicing fire alarms now.
Yes.
Just not burglar, but just fire alarms. Is that correct?
Some burg here and there. I mean, a little bit of everything.
And so you were first self-employed
Correct.
when y'all married.
Mhm.
And how long did you remain self-employed, sir?
Probably a couple of years too long. Till 2016, I think.
2016.
4 or 5 years after we married.
And how long were you married to your first wife?
20 years.
How long?
20 years.
20 years. And in that divorce, did you end up with some significant credit issues? Did you have some debt that you brought from one marriage into another marriage?
I didn't think so at the time, but yes.
What do you mean? I didn't think so.
Okay. I had a credit card debt. The credit card company called me one afternoon while I was at work, said, "Hey, we need to figure something out." I tried to work out a payment plan. They were going to send me a booklet, he said, of payment cards or like coupons or whatever so I could mail a payment in. And I never saw that. So after probably 60 days, kind of forgot about it, to be honest with you, and then called them back and they said, that debt, we don't own that debt anymore. It's not ours. We're not going to do anything with it. So apparently they had sold it at that point. And but he said
I'd let it go on for just a second, but this is all hearsay. We were getting through it, but I'd ask that objection, hearsay.
But
Well, the objection is as to what the credit card company told him.
well, Your Honor, again, it's not necessarily offer for the truth of the matter asserted. She talked about the fact that they came into this marriage. They started the marriage in a
Well, let me
financial.
tell you, we've been on this case since yesterday, and we've been most of the day today. And I would focus, if I were you, on what the issues were that I need to hear. Whether or not he spent the night in a hotel with the other children in Jackson, is not necessarily going to help me decide this case. Right now, the most important thing to me is the parenting schedule I'm going to adopt. So I would focus on that for the remaining time that we have and let me try to resolve this case for you today, if at all possible.
Yes, sir. And this was just, again, I was just getting it to the point of whether or not asking the question, are you still paying on that debt in this marriage?
Well, I'm not sure that I understand the financial situation they're in anyway, because if they make a significant income, they're living in a house without without a mortgage payment to them at least, and she's working, he's working, and I don't know. It just seems like to me that there's some issue somewhere that I'm not identifying, but that is one issue. The issue having to do with temporary
Spousal
support.
support.
My main concern is what am I going to do about these kids? So,
Yes, sir.
all right, I'm sorry for interrupting you. Go ahead.
So again, let me just get to you've heard her testify. Do you still have premarital debt that you are paying on now?
Apparently, yes. Until I think June of next year.
Well, why do you say apparently? You either do or you don't, sir. Are you making a payment that is a
Yes.
premarital
Yes.
debt?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And then the children, food, clothing, recreation at 200. And then dance and baseball. That's for Ella and for JB. Is that right?
Yes. Again, it was a guesstimation on cost.
So again, when you add these debts and expenses, we've added it up. It actually shows that y'all got about $1,800 left. You should have about $1,800 left at the end of the month. Is that really truly what y'all got? Do you have a surplus of money left?
I've never seen $1,800 left at the end of a month.
Okay. Do you have to walk? She testified that you have to walk around with $500 in your pocket.
No, ma'am, I do not.
Do you have $500 that you have the availability to walk around that with your pocket, in your pocket? I mean, do you have that much money left?
You need to be careful how you answer that question because Ms. Roberts has a tendency sometimes, especially in child support cases, to instruct a person to stand up and empty their pockets, including their wallet, so they can determine how much money they have.
And based on that, Mr. Dodd, I did look in your wallet just a minute ago, didn't I?
You did.
Looked at how much money you had in it.
You did.
So Judge Wolf knows me. When we took a recess, I did exactly that, correct?
Yes,
And you don't have $500 in there, did you?
I do not.
I think you had 7?
Either 7 or 12, I'm not.
700.
No, 7. I can't remember if there were 2 5s and 2 1s. I thought there was a 5 and 2 1s.
It may be.
Pull it out, let's look.
I don't care.
Okay,
Let's
never
move
mind.
on.
Yeah, and I'll stipulate he's got $12 today in his pocket.
Sounds good to me.
When was the last time you had $500 in your pocket?
Of my money, of a long time.
Okay, well, whose else money would you have in your pocket?
Borrowed money that I borrowed that I was repaying someone else.
From who?
My mother,
That's your mother seated here. What's her name?
Mary Dodd.
And Mary owns that property, that house.
She
correct?
does.
And out of her grace and goodness, y'all live there for free.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Your Honor, we would move this in as the next exhibit.
Well,
That would be exhibit 4.
Yes, ma'am.
you gotta mark that one.
Now, Mr. Dodd, y'all have 3 children. Tell me what their names and ages are.
JB is Jedediah Bryan, and he's 12. Ella Marie is 10, and Barrett Graham is 6.
And during the course of your marriage, you have previously testified, and you heard nobody disputed that it was y'all's intention for her to be a stay-at-home mom during the early years of your children. Is that
Yes.
correct? Was that sometimes hard financially?
Yes,
But what was your responsibility in this family?
to bring home the money,
Okay, and what was her responsibility?
to keep the home.
Okay, and did some of that lap over when you brought the money home? Who typically sat down and paid the bills?
She did.
Okay, and then would you just have nothing to do? According to what her testimony was, is you didn't have nothing to do with your kids.
No,
Is that true?
not at all.
Tell me about your interaction with your children on a daily basis. A day in the life of the Dodds. You get up and you go to work. What time you leave?
Usually before the children were awake.
Okay.
In the last few years, anyway, probably the last since 2019. I'm typically gone before they get out of bed, or right as
Well,
they're
what time
getting
do
out
they
of
get
bed.
out of bed?
6:30, somewhere in that ballpark.
Okay.
So I'm typically leaving for work at that point. Afternoons and evenings, I mean, we play games, we do whatever. I mean,
Help their homework?
I've got really smart kids that don't have a lot of homework, to be honest with you. Abigail, my 17-year-old, surpassed my homework skills in 7th grade. So she's a little above my pay grade on that one. But If they had it and they need it, I mean, we've done projects together. I've helped JB with some science projects and stuff like that that he's built
What
for
time of the day?
4-H
What
projects.
time of the evening would you usually get home?
It depends on the day. I do service, so I don't have you start at 7, you get off at 4. I don't have a set schedule. I don't go in and punch a time clock anywhere. I get in my van and I drive where they tell me to drive until it's time to go home. And some days that's 5 o'clock. On the rare occasion, it's 6:30 or 7 o'clock, but
Those are rare.
they are. And some of those days, I mean, it's 3:30, 4 o'clock when I'm getting home. So it's not, it depends on the day and what we've got going on as far as work.
Okay. When you came home, would you help with dinner if it wasn't already done?
Sometimes, yes.
Okay. She said she had made the comment, her friend and her had made the comment that you had to be served dinner. You ever demanded that you be served dinner?
No, I have not.
Has she done it?
Yes,
She brought you a plate.
she has.
You've been
Multiple times.
You appreciative of that?
Absolutely.
Was that an expectation?
No, it was
Was
not.
it a demand?
No, ma'am.
Did you think she did it because she loved you?
I did.
At any point in time, did she ever voice in saying, I ain't waiting on you, get up and feed yourself?
Maybe once or twice, yeah, time or two. I mean,
And what did you do?
I got up and fed myself.
Okay.
And it may have been joking or in that manner. I'm not, but yeah,
It wasn't ever a source of controversy, was it?
no, ma'am.
Did you know it was a problem until today when,
No,
do you help with laundry and cleaning the house?
yes.
She would, based on her testimony, your kids are nasty and stink after you leave. That's
Judge, objection, that was not the
Paraphrase.
testimony, and that is a misrepresentation.
Sustain the objection.
Your wife said that you do not, that you have significant hygiene problems and let your daughter's hair get greasy.
Every weekend before church, either on Saturday night or Sunday morning, all 3 or 4, if Abigail is home, children get showers. All of them. Now, Abigail is 17. I'm not going to wash her hair for her. She don't want me in the bathroom when she's taking a shower. Ella, JB is 12. He's a big boy, can do it himself. Ella is the same way at 10. She washes her own hair. Sometimes maybe she don't do a good job, but she brushes it out. I mean, I'm not very good at doing little girls' hair. I proved that with Abby a long time ago. But Graham showers regularly when I am at home with him. I put him in the shower and make sure he's clean.
Now, Abigail, no, excuse, not Abigail, but Ella is a 10-year-old little girl.
She is.
Okay, coming into her own as far as privacy is concerned. Do you even feel comfortable going in the bathroom while she's nude and showering?
I do not.
Does her mother? I mean, when you, I know you just left and y'all started doing this 50-50 and not living in the household together just at the beginning, middle of this summer, right?
Yes.
Before that, is there something that Ella just doesn't tend to her hygiene? You ever known that be an issue?
I mean, when she was younger, she didn't wash her hair very well, but I mean, she was young.
Well, this last school year, when she was in 4th grade and 3rd grade, again, she's a 3rd grader. Did her mother get in the shower with her and wash her hair, or was that her responsibility?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I assumed she did it herself at that point.
Okay. But you don't know?
I do not.
Okay. But have they ever, I mean, again, you've heard her testimony, and I can go and get my notes, that there's been multiple times that the kids have not been bathed. She can tell they're dirty. Obviously that the kids haven't showered.
That is incorrect. Never has there been a weekend that I have been at the house since June the 14th that my children have not had showers.
Now,
not the first time.
Ms. Duke asked JB when we were back there about showering. He said he got up late one Monday and didn't shower and went to school.
He typically showers daily now because he wants to and he feels better when he does.
12-year-old boys
Needs to, yeah.
they start to smell sometimes
do.
that age, don't they? Okay. Now, does he use deodorant yet?
Yes,
Okay. And is that part of what y'all make sure that you purchase and make sure
Yes.
all the girls have all the things that they need?
yes,
You go to the grocery store?
I do.
Have you gone during the course of your marriage?
I have.
Perfectly capable of cooking a meal?
I am.
Do you eat out all the time?
No,
Did you get a hotel room for what night?
for Saturday night,
So y'all got up and drove down Saturday
correct.
and then spent the night in Jackson Saturday night
Yes.
with all the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Other family members from the team stay too?
I don't know.
Okay. And
They've
then,
been talking about Jackson ever since the fire went out,
Yes.
pretty much.
Mhm.
I mean, we spent a lot of time talking about Jackson. It doesn't matter to me whether he rented a hotel room or drove, so.
again, Your Honor, she has raised that he's doing that, and I just feel necessary to
know the
create
need
the
to
record.
Respond quid pro quo, but I'm just telling you that that is not an issue for this court to give any weight to. I've been there, you've been there, she's been there. All of us know that when you have a tournament someplace and your kids are going to have an early game or even a noon game, you don't want them driving, getting up at the crack of dawn, driving, 2 or 3 hours in a car, then have to play a sport. They need to rest. And I think it was quite reasonable for him to rent a room. And it would have been a family adventure if he did. So I don't consider that to be an issue in this court. So excuse me for interrupting and interspersing June Carter and Jimmy and Johnny Cash, but I couldn't resist because we keep talking about Jackson.
Went to Jackson. Now you have week to week with your daughter, and again, when you moved out of the house, did you believe that y'all were working on just a separation and going to reconcile?
I do. Yes. And to touch on the moved out of the house, I did not move out of our home.
Well,
I simply am staying with my mother a few days a week,
and
and
again,
then I come back home to the children.
you're not there 24.
No, I'm
You
not.
did not abandon that home.
No, I did not.
You agreed to do what?
To share the home so the children could stay in the home, which is the home they were born and raised.
But did you think that that was going to be a permanent arrangement?
No, I did not.
Had y'all discussed divorce at that point?
No.
You heard her say that she approached you on Father's Day or the weekend of Father's Day, which I assume the Saturday before, and said, I'm unhappy and I need a separation.
Correct.
Okay. And did you think that you were doing best to give her the time and space that she asked for?
I did.
And then you got, unbeknownst, she filed for divorce and you got served.
Well, I got an envelope in the mail a couple of days prior to that, and it was from the lawyer's office. So I kind of assumed that's what it was. And
Okay.
then a couple of days later, I got served at, well, they tried to serve me at my mother's. I was at work and picked up the paperwork the following Monday morning.
And that was just a week, 2 weeks, about 2 weeks, week before last. You came in last week and hired me,
Yes,
and you had gotten it the following week.
I think that sounds
Okay.
right.
Now, have you ever forced yourself sexually on your wife?
No,
She said that you have effectively committed spousal rape.
no.
Well, why do you hesitate?
There are things that we have done in our private time that I would really rather not bring up in court.
Have you forced yourself on her?
No.
Have y'all willingly participated in a sexual relationship
Yes.
as two consenting adults?
Yes.
Whatever you've done, has it been against, to your knowledge, has it been against her will?
No.
Has she ever told you to stop and you not stop?
Possibly
Okay. And when was that?
years ago.
Years ago. Okay. She a good mother?
I think so.
You think you're a good father?
Yes.
Did you try to fulfill your obligation that y'all set forth when you married for you to be the breadwinner and her to be the
Yes,
day-to-day parent? Do you want to maximize your time with your children?
I do.
You do not own your home. And you have week to week with your daughter, at least for the next several months. She's set to graduate in May.
Till she turns 18 in June or July.
And during the pendency of this, you want to spend your week with her in your home.
Yes.
And again, she is 17 and is capable, if you have to leave, she's capable of being there.
She is.
And if she provided that service to y'all when y'all been married, if you and your wife are out, has your daughter tended
Yes.
to the younger children?
She has.
And you believe what do you believe the best schedule is for your children?
I believe week to week.
And you don't dispute during the course of your marriage that she has been the person that does the day-to-day parenting.
Objection asked and answered. I'm just trying to move it along.
I don't know that that specific question has been asked and answered overruled.
And it really is a leading question, so.
That it is leading, so sustain it on that basis.
Okay. Now let's just kind of slow it down then, and we'll see what we can get to before 4 o'clock, before we quit. Are you capable of, have you done laundry and cooked and cleaned and done things for your children?
Yes, I
Objection
have.
asked and answered. That all has been asked and answered.
Man, I do understand that he has testified that he can do all of that, and I've made notes to that effect. Let's
And you
sustain
want to
the
be
objection.
given the opportunity to do that.
I do that anyway, every Saturday.
She has said that she wants to take time away from you.
Yes.
Has she offered any valid reason when you've heard her testimony
No.
in order to do that? Now, you don't like this lady sitting back here with her that she doesn't call by her name. She just keeps referring to as best friend. This Heather Holmes. You don't care for her, do you?
No.
Why?
Never have. Why would take way too long at this point?
Okay. She's no relative to your children.
No.
Your son articulated something that happened this past Monday that concerned you.
Yes.
Do you think it's appropriate for anybody to speak badly about you or their mother to your children?
No, I do not.
And are you concerned that she's doing that?
I'm going to object to that because that's actually a misstatement. The testimony was not that she spoke badly, that she said, why did somebody send the child to school in
You
sweatpants?
didn't say, I remember because I was sitting there when JB testified, and what his statement was is that Ms. Halsey, when the younger boy, Garrett, or whatever his name,
Right.
right, when he got out of school, that he was no longer wearing the shorts that he had left home in, he was wearing sweatpants, and that Ms. Halsey allegedly stated, why would your dad put you in sweatpants when it's 90 degrees outside? That was the statement that was made, so.
That bothered you, did it, again, did he articulate that bothered him?
Yes.
Objection to leading again.
Overruled.
Do you want anybody around your children who is not supportive of your relationship with them and the mother's relationship with them?
No, I do not.
And again, you've heard her testimony here today. Do you think she's a divisive person in y'all's marriage?
Yes.
You have the availability, if you had the kids for a week where she doesn't need to pick them up, does she?
Correct.
You don't have to depend on her.
No.
As far as you know, do you believe that your mother is willing to allow your soon-to-be ex-wife to stay in the home at least for a period of time until she can relocate?
I don't know.
You don't, she has,
I would say no, but I haven't asked her that question.
Okay. But you don't have an issue of going week to week in the home for a period of time until she can relocate. You want to keep the kids in the house as long as possible.
I would, yes,
You're planning on staying there permanently.
yes,
That's been the kids' home for their entirety of their life.
it has.
She's painted you as just a lazy person who sits on the couch and let the house, y'all had a bunch of junk in the basement. Don't know that the court really wants to get into that, but is there a rendition of her friends coming into your home and cleaning out the basement? Was that an accurate depiction of what went on?
No.
Tell me what went on.
Friday evening, her husband brought a trailer that we went to the basement, me included, and we loaded that first night. We loaded everything up, kind of moved some stuff around, see what else was going to go. Saturday morning, came back early after unloading the trailer, and we reloaded it again. We being me also. I was there all 3 days working to unload and get the stuff out of the basement that needed to go.
And what condition's the basement in right now?
Better than it was. It's still got some clutter that quite honestly needs to be straightened up, but it hasn't been yet.
Okay.
But it's not packed full of mess.
It was packed full of
It
mess,
was,
wasn't it?
absolutely.
Are you secure in your job?
Yes.
You anticipate any changes?
No.
And you understand even with a 50-50 schedule, you make more money than your wife does presently.
Yep.
And you have no problem paying whatever the calculated support is.
I have to. I don't have a problem with it. We do what we do.
You don't want your daughter there alone with her at this point.
My daughter doesn't want to be there alone with her at this point in time. She articulated that to me last night.
I'm going to object. That's hearsay.
You don't want your daughter there.
I do not. I do not.
I agree, Your Honor, just trying to,
I do not. My apologies.
she's not going to come unless you're there on a weekly basis.
Correct.
And you think that's, again, you want her to have a relationship with your children, with her her half siblings, correct?
Yes.
And that can be accomplished by y'all going in and out of the house either on a Friday or a Sunday or whatever day in the middle of the week. Does it matter which day of the week that y'all exchange?
Abby is there from Sunday to Sunday.
So that you want to correspond with Abby's schedule, correct?
Yes.
You think that would be best for everybody?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, you've raped your wife and don't know why she wants a divorce. Can you explain that to me?
Objection, assuming facts not in evidence.
Nope.
He said he forced himself on her.
Your Honor, again, I object for the classification of she said she's raped.
The terminology of rape, I think, is the question that was, the objection is based on that. And I would sustain, because that was not the word used, forced himself upon her. And I think he denied that as well. But you can ask the question whether or not he considers himself to have done those things, but right now he has not admitted that. So
Well, he did say that he had gone past consent.
he said that he had not stopped when she asked him to stop.
Yes. And you don't know why she wants a divorce when you did not stop having sex with her when she asked you to?
Right.
And after the divorce was filed, you stopped putting money into the joint account unless she asked you for it, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Did you know that you were under an injunction when the divorce was filed not to change anything that you'd been doing?
Objection, Your Honor. Objection. Mischaracterizing the statutory language. That is not the language that is statutory.
Saying that is not the language of the statutory injunction.
Did you make changes to the way that you had been doing things?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did you do that under the instruction of someone else?
No.
You did that of your own behest
Yes.
and made your wife have to ask you for monies in order to get groceries?
She has a job and works every day just like I do.
Okay. That wasn't my question, sir.
No.
Okay. And in the history of your marriage, that's never how you've done things, has it?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you agree with me, sir, that the house was left in disarray and you went back and you said, yes, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. You left dishes in the sink, you left clothing everywhere. You left that morning in a hurry to get to Murfreesboro at 6 a.m. Is that fair?
You're asking me to remember an exact detail of an exact day that I don't remember.
But-
I remember the pictures that she sent me of Graham's clothes and the little cubbies pulled out. Yes, I remember that.
And the stinky dishes in the sink that had not been loaded into the dishwasher. Had they been loaded, she wouldn't have complained. Is that fair?
No, that's not fair at all. She would have complained if I'd have did it perfectly.
Name one meal other than spaghetti that you have cooked for your family.
Chicken parmesan,
When was that?
steaks, burgers.
Okay. When Miss Roberts asked you about burgers and was telling you've been grilling burgers a minute ago.
I'm going to object to the question as argumentative.
It's not argumentative.
I hope when Ms. Roberts told you you were grilling burgers.
She did, and I let him answer the question.
No, Your Honor.
If I understand correctly, you're objecting to the fact that she says you told him he was grilling burgers.
And he corrected her and said that, no, I'm not grilling burgers.
Not lately,
If I may, just for a second. My understanding is the objection is to the form of the question, sustain the objection, because my recollection is that Ms. Roberts' question was, did you grill, something of the effect, did you grill burgers or you grill burgers? And he said, no, I didn't. So I don't consider that to say her telling him he grilled burgers.
So now you've said in the last couple of months you've grilled burgers, but you told Miss Roberts you had not been grilling burgers.
I didn't say in the last couple of months.
Now, Heather Halsey has been in your kids' lives for 8 years. She's an integral part of your children's lives.
Your Honor, again, I'm going to object as to Ms. Halsey is not a party to this matter. She has every right to associate with whoever she wants. Ms. Dodd does.
Is there a legal basis for your objection?
No.
No, Your Honor, I'm just wasting time.
Overrule the objection.
And you want to take Miss Halsey out of their lives, is that correct? Is that what you told Miss Roberts a minute ago? If it's not, that's fine.
So are you asking me what I want right now?
Yeah, were you telling Miss Roberts you don't want Miss Halsey around your children?
Yes.
Okay. When she's come to your home and cared for your children and helped you clean up your home, take care of your home, and you had a good relationship with her until this came about.
I have never had a good relationship with her.
Okay.
I have done things for their family when her husband had cancer because of my wife and no other reason.
Would you be sad to know that JB testified that it makes him sad when you talk about Miss Halsey badly?
I don't know that he's heard me talk about her badly, but
Okay. He knows you don't like her.
yes, he does. He doesn't either.
The morning that she came over to help you with the kids and get the kids to school, she called you to say, hey, I know you've got a meeting. The kids told me you've got a meeting. Do you want me to take them to school on their first day? She volunteered that. You didn't ask her, did you?
I don't remember how the conversation came up, but
A few minutes ago when you were testifying, you told Miss Roberts that you reached out to her and said you needed help.
I have, yes.
Okay. But in that case, you did not. And in
I
this-
don't know.
Okay. Well, do you know anything?
Objection, Your Honor. Argumentative badgering.
It is argumentative, sustained.
Judge, I think I'm done.
Redirect? Can you redirect?
No, Your Honor, that's all.
All right, I have a couple of questions for you.
Yes, sir.
And I understand you and this lady have been married for some time, but I want to know exactly, you have to admit that it's a little unusual how you and she came together, would you not? For example, the fact that she moved into your home when she was how old?
18.
18?
Yes,
And then you married her when she was 19?
20.
20, okay. You married her when she was 20. And there is how much of an age difference is there between the two of you? 26 years, something like
22 or
that.
23, yes.
All right. So do you understand how that can give an impression that perhaps you took advantage of a young person when she was living in your home? I'm not saying you did, but I just want you to understand that.
I do.
You do understand that?
Yes.
All right. And there's been some question about the fact that she claims that you told her she has to be submissive to her. Do you feel like that's been the situation between the two of you during the marriage, that she had to be submissive to you?
No, sir. That conversation, she keeps throwing up pieces of a Bible verse that said, I'm
well aware of the Bible verses.
Understand, but she kept throwing that at me, and I told her she's taking the verse out of context. If you want to take it, you got to take the whole thing, because it's not just the husband has to love his wife like Christ loved the church. The wife has to submit herself to her own husband. And that was where that came from. I've never asked for her to be submissive. I've never tried to control her.
Right. We're not going to get too much into to the religious aspect of that. Anyway, this is a court of law, not of religion. But the fact of the matter is that you're asking to go to a week with your child. Where are you going to live during the week that you have the children?
In the house.
Where are you going to live in the week you don't have the children?
Probably at my mother's in Franklin.
So in other words, what you want to do is just extend the time that you have now to a full week and keep the rotation in and out.
We have talked about a week-to-week schedule as far as if this comes to a divorce or a permanent parenting plan. And I've been met with resistance the entire time.
All right, step down. Any other witnesses?
Nothing further.
No, Your Honor.
I'll hear you an argument.
Judge, it's apparent that Mr. Dodd does not have the best interest of these children
There's not one.
does not have the best interest of the children at heart in this case. We've gone for 3 months and this has worked for them. They have gotten along in the last 3 months. There have been few issues, but they've gotten along.
Well, they've gotten along. He sees them every weekend right now, and you're asking to remove that, to reduce that by 50%, right?
Well, I am to a degree, Judge, but I would submit to the court that I don't know that my client's completely averse to continuing to do what they do. It has worked. Now, so that she had some fun time with the children, that's the reason that she did that, or we can alternate 2 days in the off week. This gentleman has spoken to the child about people that this child loves. JB said he loved Miss Halsey, and it made him sad that he's got it out for Miss Halsey, but Miss Halsey has been supportive of his wife, so that's not surprising. He's been trying to create a divide between Miss Halsey and the children. He's been trying to create a divide between his daughter and the stepmother who's raised the child. I think it speaks volumes today that he finally admitted that he has not stopped when she's asked him to stop in a sexual relationship. He's not necessarily a safe person as far as she's concerned. The two of them should not be in the same household for that reason. She has co-parented. She has made sure he knew when and where and how and what to be in all of these instances, and he has detrimentally relied on her to make sure he gets where he needs to be. He's detrimentally relied on her to make sure bills get paid. Now all of a sudden this complaint gets filed and he decides he wants 50-50 custody. He decides that he wants to pay all the bills. He decides he wants to take all the money out of the accounts. That is retribution to the wife. It's not appropriate. I would ask that the court award the wife spousal support, child support, and also
How much spousal support are you seeking?
we're asking that it make up the difference between her debts. We're asking for $1,000 a month, please.
$1,000 a month in addition to child support?
Yes, that or the payment. I think that they should continue the spousal support, just like we did in one of our other cases in Humphreys County that you were over. Maybe the spousal support could be the payment of the bills to marital residence as it has been occurring. That would probably more be appropriate. I'm trying to be fast for Ms. Ross.
Ms. Roberts?
These parties have been married for 13 years. It is not disputed that they entered this marriage with the understanding that he was going to be the primary breadwinner and that she would be a stay-at-home mom, at least through the early years of their children's lives. Mrs. Dodd has decided she does not want to be married to Mr. Dodd anymore, which is her absolute right to do that. But they have lived together and operated and raised these kids together. And she wants to put herself up on a pedestal because she has been a stay-at-home mom without giving him any respect for the fact that he has been the primary breadwinner in this marriage. They both probably have overspent. Again, he's making a significant amount of money. They don't have savings. They don't have anything. They don't even have a home of their own, and still seem to not be able to make ends meet, even without a house payment. But the fact of the matter is that, her statement, have you done this? Well, primarily. He's done it. He's cooked. He's cleaned. He's done the things that he wants to do. I wish this case would have come in here and she just came in and said, look, I don't love him anymore. Don't like him anymore. I've been primary. He's a good daddy. I'm a good mama. We need to work this out. But again, we had to start out by slinging mud and calling him and saying he's some lazy individual, and got her best friend in here talking about that he talked badly about his brother. I don't know what any of that has to do with what Your Honor's decision is going to be. The court has to maximize the time with both parents. The fact that you've got is both of these are capable parents to raise these kids. They live in a house that neither one of them have a lease or a right to live there. My client has a week-to-week schedule with his 17-year-old daughter, and he has just a scant few months to appreciate that and to have the last part of her childhood with his daughter. And the best way to effectuate the relationship between that child and the half siblings and these people is to, again, play musical houses. Move these parents in and out on a week-to-week basis. She's testified that her best friend will let her live with her. He's testified he has a place with his mother on the weeks that they're not there. It's going to be apparent that Mrs. Dodd's going to have to move. She's got to find a place to go. She says she's looking. Then we'll know where she's going to be, where he's going to be when you can effectuate a final parenting plan. But on a temporary basis, there is no need to decrease anybody's time with these children. And the fact that she asked for him to have every weekend, and it's a 4-3 schedule right now, 4-3 schedule. And to make it a 7-7 schedule, or even if you do a 2-2-3, or however you want to do it, but an equal schedule, I think is appropriate for this family. And that's what needs to be done on a temporary basis. And that's what we believe is in the best interest of the children.
First thing this court is going to deal with is the fact that this is a temporary hearing. This is not the final hearing. We've heard a lot of testimony about the treatment that each of them has had towards each other and their faults as a spouse. None of that really applies to what I have to decide today, except for the fact that there was a claim for spousal support, and the relative fault in bringing about the dissolution of the marriage is one of the factors that the court can consider on a spousal support claim. But it really boils down to the two of them have a situation that I've got to try to come into and fashion some sort of a solution. So I'm going to deal first with the parenting plan, and then we'll talk about the financial situation and living arrangements. Clearly, in this case, both of these parents have a good relationship with the children. I heard from their oldest child, the 12-year-old JB, and he loves both of his parents. And under the circumstances, he expressed a preference to have an equal residential schedule with both of the parents. As I explained to JB that this morning early at 8:30, I understand and will appreciate his desires, but that's not always possible for the court to do something that a 12-year-old child wants to have done. But he loves, or the children, I think, have good relationships with both parents. But the proof has been that during the majority of the time that these children have been alive, the mother has been the primary person for the majority of parenting responsibilities. She's been the one who's done who's taken care of the doctor's visits and so forth. She's also been the one who's, for the majority of it, dealt with the school and educational needs of the children. So I think that factor clearly indicates that she has been the primary residential parent under those definitions. I think that both of them have the potential for being able to perform parenting responsibilities. I questioned Mr. Dodd about the beginning of their relationship because it was certainly an unusual circumstance, and sometimes can raise some red flags, but no evidence has been indicated other than the marital problems that they've had to indicate that Mr. Dodd has, any real issues that would prevent him from being able to facilitate a good relationship between him and between her and the children. And I think that's both of them have the potential for future performance of parenting responsibilities. But I think that factor would favor both of them equally. Don't have any evidence that either of them has refused to attend the parent education seminar because this is a temporary hearing. Clearly, Mr. Dodd has been the primary breadwinner in the family, and for the majority of the children's lives, he was the one who provided them financial ability for the children to have food and clothing, et cetera. I do find that the medical care and education has been predominantly Mrs. Dodd who has provided those things, albeit with the financial support of Mr. Dodd, and he has been engaged in and involved in that to a degree. Both of these parents love their children, or they wouldn't be here fighting over the children, and I explained that to your son, that if I have parents sometimes who don't want to have any responsibilities for their children. So I credit that both of you want to be involved in your children's lives, and both of you want the children with you. Problem is, both of you think that your opinion is the best interest of the minor child, and that's not always the case. There's been a lot of discussion about the sexual relationship between these parties, and that's not necessarily something that this court would consider for a purpose of having a parenting plan adopted. We have 2 boys and a young girl that are there, and I don't find that there's been any evidence introduced. May raise an indication of a question as to how they began the relationship, but it was a mutual relationship, and they've stayed together for 13 years. But there's been no evidence to indicate that other than the relationship, sexual relationship, physical relationship between the 2 of them, that Ms. Dodd felt like was more forced on her than would be necessary. And unfortunately, that is a factor which could potentially could favor her on that particular factor of the factors that the court has to consider. But I don't think that makes him an inappropriate parent, because I've had no evidence that he's in any other way inappropriately acted towards any other person, or certainly towards the children. These parties have been separated for several months, and they've been doing this week on with the mother and weekend with the father now for several months, at least since June, Father's Day. I would also point out that was a schedule rather, that Mrs. Dodd suggested to Mr. Dodd. And she suggested that because, according to her testimony, she thought that was best for the children. Now she wants to change that because of the fact that she says that it's somehow inappropriate because of his failure to properly care for the hygiene of the children or something on that order. But I think the stability of the children, in this case, as was pointed out, he's had the children for 4 days and she's had them for he's had the children for 3 days and she's had them for 4 days every week. And they seem to be flourishing in that situation. So the stability aspect would be for the continuation of that type of a relationship. The evidence of any physical or emotional abuse to the child, I don't find any abuse to these children. To the other parent, I don't find any emotional abuse. There's been a lot of discussion of financial abuse, and I haven't really heard anything that I would define as financial abuse. He made the money, and there were arguments about how they spent it. If that is financial abuse, then just about every household in this state would have financial abuse taking place as well. It is a constant. The biggest factors in leading to divorce, in my opinion, from what I hear, are sexual relationships between the parties and financial difficulties between the parties. Those are the two main reasons that people end up in the divorce court. So I don't find that factor really applies in this court. The character and behavior of any other person who resides in or frequents the home of the parent. There's a lot of been said about how you don't like Miss Hulsey. Miss Hulsey's been a good friend to your wife, and that's not unusual to have when you're working and she's, hanging out with her friend, or her friend is helping to provide care, and then we get into a divorce. A lot of times in divorce, you have mutual friends, and they'll side with one party over the other. That doesn't make them a bad person. That makes them somebody who is supporting their friend. I don't find that there's anything inappropriate about Ms. Hulsey or any reason that she should not be allowed to be around your children. She has been supportive of it. But there will be an order there will be a provision in this order that no one who is allowed to provide care or to provide transportation or to frequently be around the child shall speak ill or make derogatory comments about the other parent. And that should fix that problem. If that is violated, then that person will be prohibited from being around, the children. I don't think it'll be violated. I think it just means that I don't take what she said, as JB said, to be a very much of a criticism towards you, but I think it did have an impression on your son. So as a result of that, I don't find that there's any indication of any problems with the character behavior of anyone that also. But the reasonable preference of the child of 12 years of age or older. And your son has testified, and he's indicated that he would like to have a week-on, week-off schedule. But the problem is that during this week-on, week-off schedule that he's proposing, the majority of all of the educational issues that have been dealt with by Mrs. Dodd. She's been the primary satisfactory and stable influence regarding education needs of the children. And on a temporary basis, the court is not inclined to alter that situation. So based upon all of those factors, this court finds that Mrs. Dodd should be designated the primary residential parent. Likewise, as the court has found, the stability of the situation mandates that the present schedule that these parties agreed to will continue, with the weekends with the father and the weekdays during the week with the mother. I want the educational needs of the children to be paramount, and I want them to have the stability that they already have. So as a result of that, I am ordering that the current situation that they have agreed upon, or a temporary basis, that doesn't mean it'll be what happens at the final hearing. But as Judge Alan Wallace used to always say, a temporary hearing is designed to keep, life and limb together until you can get to a final hearing. So a temporary order in this case is designed for this court to simply try to ensure that whatever the situation is will result in the best interest of the minor children until you can get to a final hearing. Child support will be calculated upon the number of days that we've talked about, 3 days with him, 4 days with her. The incomes that have been testified to will be the incomes that will be used to calculate that. And all of the testimony that's been brought to bear on the issues of the other calculation factors will be included as well. I award temporary physical possession of the marital residence to the children. And that means that they will stay in the house and the parents will continue to go in and out. Now, anybody who doesn't like that, find you another place to live. Because the kids are what I'm concerned about, and I don't want to have them disrupted. And I cannot, in my opinion, order exclusive possession of the home to one party or the other, where the ownership of that property is not vested in either one of you. And there is a distinction between a rental property. You have a contract for a rental property. You have a month-to-month tenancy anyway. But this is them living in a home belonging to the paternal grandmother, and at any point they can, at any point in time, they could be asked to leave if the situation arose. So I want to try to preserve the stability of the children and make sure that they stay where they're supposed to stay. So they'll have the possession of the home, so to speak, and the parties will rotate in and out on a temporary basis. There will be no other than the Ring camera and the floodlight, there will be no other cameras installed in the interior of this home designed to try to spy on or monitor or any such other thing as that. These situations are never easy for the court to try to come up with a solution that solves the problem that you two follow. I do find that Mrs. Dodd has been primarily the caregiver for the children and that she wants to continue that, but I think it's also important for Mr. Dodd to continue to be able to have a relationship with his children. Right now, your children seem to be doing well. I don't want to disrupt that, but you can probably expect that at the final hearing, it's not going to be this schedule. This is a temporary hearing, temporary schedule that I'm putting down. Both of you need to make sure that you keep the house clean and orderly for the children, because you can be assured that when we come back for the final hearing, whatever the conditions are that your children are living in, hygiene issues, all of that's going to come back up. So, if whatever the situation is, you need to make sure the kids' needs are met. All right, folks, I've given you 2 days to try to litigate this thing. All I can say is this. I was very impressed with your son. I think he's a good-looking young man. He's smart, and he clearly loves both of you very much. So I think it would behoove both of you to try to think about what's in the best interest of your children. And in particular, Mr. Dodd, sometimes we want to assert our rights as a parent, and I have every obligation to ensure that you get those rights. But sometimes you got to think about what's in the best for your children. That's the reason I'm not giving you a week on, week off, just because I'm trying to preserve the educational needs of your children, but still give you as much access to the children as necessary, as possible. When you get to the summers, typically you alternate week to week during the summer, at least this court does. So, at a final hearing, you can expect that might be the case. But right now, this is what the order is of the court. I hope that you will take what I've said regarding your conduct about each other, towards each other. You kill each other with kindness, regardless of what's gone on. You were married for 13 years, no matter how you started out. And if you kill each other with kindness, so to speak, it may be possible for your children to grow up as normal as possible. Otherwise, you've got young children. You got a 6-year-old and you're 66. Is that right?
56.
56, all right. So in 12 years, you're going to be 68, right? Mm-hmm. And your son will be 18. Your youngest son will be 18. So you got a lot of life left to have to deal with each other. So I would strongly suggest that you start putting your children's interests first, set aside whatever the animosity is that you've had towards each other. Try to make sure that the children don't think there is any animosity, because otherwise you're going to ruin every major event in your children's lives. Every birthday, every Christmas, every holiday, your children are going to be on edge and anxious about the fact that mom and dad are going to be in the same room. They're going to be here for, my birthday party. They're going to be here for Christmas events at school. Eventually, these children are going to grow up and you're going to get married, and you'd like to be a part of that, I would assume. And when you have grandchildren, you'd like to be able to share that with each other without having your children traumatized because of the fact that they can't have you in the same room with your new grandchild as she is in the same room with a new grandchild. You have to think long term about this situation and try to put aside whatever that is. And that the first step in doing that is to stop talking about each other in a negative way and start thinking positively about it, no matter what the problem has been in the past. That's the judgment of the court.
This court stands in recess. Divorce Court is a dramatization based on cases and